Okay, so there. So
Can I get
that's
the new link?
stop. No, you don't need that. No,
Oh, that's
already done.
Right.
So that's what you click at the end when you've done. So now it's live
Mm-hmm.
to the world.
And now, can I minimise that?
Don't do it if you want.
And now, what's the link we're using again?
So the link is that you go to that one. Yeah.
Just put an email, send it to me.
And then press that page. Just live.
Now?
Yeah. That's where we're at. I'll refresh this in. Oh, right, there I am. It's me and you. We're live.
Yay!
Go, keep going. Go, more, speed. So it's all working. Thanks. God for that. We're live, thank you. This works.
All right. Please forgive me not jumping up and down with excitement at this moment in time. Sorry to be the cynic.
Why don't I send it then?
What in the email? What you saying?
So sit back, relax, and enjoy your online live webinar. Mike Holborn giving you his 3 top tips on how to get the best from your VNI membership. Please click here for the webinar starting at 4 p.m.
Yeah, it's 10 to now, so I get it over. So people are looking for it, yeah.
Very important.
And then just bear in mind that you're going live, so people can see it.
Okay, yeah.
Within the next minute. So I just keep looking at the camera and say, hey, I'm just working on some stuff. Don't worry, I'll be with you in a minute. You know, have to do it 2 or 4 times. Just
Sent.
Can I look at my notes again now?
Oh, yeah, it is. Oh, my God, we're confused there.
Well, I was frowning at an email. Then John told me I wasn't allowed to.
they can be. It's your public image.
Oh, hang on, I'm in the wrong order. Oh!
So, Mike,
That's me.
when you go to the question time, they should, where are they typing? Have they got the same bar? So it just says, so they see this. Look at it.
Oh, sorry, you me.
It's like, if they want to ask a question, type it in there, and then I'll get the responses, and then I'll ask you. So like, if you've got any questions, please type. This is what they're saying.
Yeah.
Please type in the comments there.
Yeah.
And then I can just you can either see it, but you can't.
No, I
So I'll read out to you.
Yeah, what we'll do is I'll just if you raise your hand when you've got a comment or you've got a question, all right, something like that, all right?
No.
Then I'll kind of come to you when I get an opportune moment, all right? Because I'll be able to sort of see at the corner of my eye. Actually, you may. No, I ain't really see the corner of my eye. Yeah, just throw things. Just sort of like. Yeah, great. Can you just quickly phone Nicola and ask her to make sure she takes calls at 4 o'clock? I suppose we could take our phones off the hook, can't we?
Probably.
Unless people can't get through.
Yeah, see one thought.
Yeah, I'm just giving a call to say it was nice working with you back in the fires. Back in the oven. Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, it was okay. I'm still alive. It was just quickly, just say we're going on this webinar at 4, so could you possibly take notes? Thank you very much. All right, see you later on. Have a good day. Bye.
How'd London go?
Yeah, really good. Awesome, actually.
Was that client down there? Or? or potential?
Two potential. Well, no, two old clients who are now redoing stuff. One was really interesting. It's an old coaching client from many years ago who's now taken his business, well, sort of sold his business into a larger thing, which is like multi-million pound agency. And so I'm starting with them now. So that was really good. They're really good places, big staff and places. And then you're not have to be logged into Facebook.
What, and you do?
Do I?
Oh, I don't know.
Try it, do what you want, but yes, that was really good. Came up with a massive plan for them, so they're up to it. And then the other one was a business which I've been working with for like, well, since I went to London 2 years ago, so it's like 5 years now, and she's now selling. So all the stuff we've done, we're going to sell it. Which is good because I get a percentage of the thing, which is always the deal right from 4 years ago when we first started. So.
When you come in that conversation I was having, Carmen, did I tell you Carmen's quit the Career for Owen's sheep?
Why not? Why should? Just, okay.
Well, it's been going on for a while. She's had a lot of personal problems. You know, she's got. Oh yeah. Oops. That's fine. So she got referred to it. So we're doing that differently.
I'm not seeing the comments anywhere from you. I'm like, I signed you on. I'm not seeing it.
This is like Brave, and I don't get Facebook. So
I know,
I
but
don't get how it
it's not
would
linking.
integrate.
I thought it was just supposed to link up.
Yeah, I mean, I would have thought it just, because it's also so.
Or if it's not working, just say, I don't know, I thought that was supposed to work on the.
Well, that's not through Facebook, is it?
So.
Yeah, any questions, ask them here.
So do you need to? You need to refresh, should you? Because.
Well, are you not logged in, Janie, as sort of like? Surely they should come in somewhere else. That's just I'm asking question. There's no like. It doesn't say questions coming in.
So I check here.
There's some questions I don't.
Reply to.
No, that's just like
What does that comment use if it at the bottom says? It says comment uses.
So that's where you post.
Yeah.
So do you have to open up your Facebook page so that you only can see from the rest of what people see is their own stuff, and then you can choose whether to reply to anything publicly.
How do I do that?
Well, where's my Facebook page?
Yeah. Want it.
Okay, so what we've just been doing should pop up on there somewhere.
Yeah, well, it should be here, I guess. You.
Okay.
No.
So that's just a messages tab, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Unless they have to be friends with the job with you.
I don't think that's the case.
I would have thought that.
That's not my understanding.
I thought it just would come as a feed, I think.
Why is it going to go through Facebook?
That
You
was
have to. There's different ways to do it. But I
That's the
just
easiest format.
thought that it would be the easiest way of doing it right. I suppose I should become more Facebook.
The only thing, if we can't do it, if you have any quick emails, just email Janie and feel.
It's not very good again, does it? I mean, the idea is simply should be able to add a comment or question.
Hold on, plug in, here we go.
Just go into the settings and see what it does.
I just assumed it comes as a news feed already.
Just, if I was you, like you just to the screen, just say, well, we started a few minutes, just to confirm where you're alive, and something will go down.
Good afternoon, ladies and gents. It's all 4 minutes to 4. We're going to be starting in just a few minutes. So you've already joined us. Please sit, wait patiently. Hopefully you can see us and you can hear us loud and clear. So I'll be with you in just a few minutes time. So, are you logged in as you're logged in as a participant then, Jane? Are you not logged in as a administration person?
I did.
So surely she can't, because it's only in the comment.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, like, there should be some way of
Somebody's got to be
looking at it as
administrator.
admin. But I don't,
That should be only you because that's what you have.
Well, then somebody have a look at my computer. What's this thing here say? It says comment using.
I think that's why I didn't know, just signed in as you. So.
I'm just trying to work this out in my brain how it would.
Got those comments on the new WordPress thing.
What? Sorry, Jim. What?
On the mikeholman.com admin, there's comments, but I don't know if that's attached.
No, that's the that's just the WordPress comments. It's right, Mikey. You are
2 minutes away. 2 minutes away from going live. With my computer.
Just say if you got any comments.
So you two need to work on it while I'm talking.
Okay.
Have you guys tested you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
So why aren't my comments
you. I thought it'd come to Mike.
appearing on your Facebook page?
Yeah, you struggling with mine. I'm sure. It's not weird, you won't be going to yours, I'm sure that you set up or anything like that, but
No, when you look at the API, the code is plugged into it.
Good afternoon, ladies and gents. Mike Holman here. Thank you for joining us for our first webinar. Just a bit of background to this webinar we're having, which is we're calling MSP2. We haven't got any more of a creative name than that for it for the moment, but it really is primarily to help those new members amongst you really get a deeper understanding of how to make BNI work for you. I like to think that all of you that are actually on this webinar have already been to a member success training program. And on that evening that you come to that session, we gave you 3.5 hours of pretty much intense information about really how to make BNI work for you. I want to go through some of those, just recap really in a moment, the areas that we covered. But the fact is that there's so much information coming at you. It's a bit like trying to drink from a hose pipe. It's really quite difficult to take all that information in and then apply it to your membership. So what we want to be able to do in this MSP2 is really sort of go back over some of those key areas, just touch on as a really a reminder to you. But then I want to share with you my 3 top tips that are really going to help you engage, establish yourself within the chapter, and really hopefully start getting results quicker from your BNI membership. We are working on the comments at the moment, so if you do have comments, we will have time for questions at the end. We're just trying to work out how that's actually going to physically work, because we can't quite see them coming through on a few tests that we've done. So do please bear with us. If you have got a burning question that you want to get out there straight away, the easiest thing might best be at the start is just to email Janie@bnionline.co.uk, Janie@bnionline.co.uk. She's sat in front of a computer. She's trying to play with the comments at the moment and get them all sorted out. But in the meantime, please do feel free to email us and we'll make sure we answer anything that you've got to ask. And it is important to me that you do ask questions. As you'll know from the training, if you, as me that trained you, I can talk a lot. And so it is important that in this session that you get to ask those questions. It may be just something that's frustrating you in the chapter. It may be something you don't understand from the chapter in those early couple of months that you're involved in. As they say, the only stupid question is the unanswered one. When I first got involved in BNI, nobody told me for 3 months what a referral was. I was passing all sorts of confetti around the table until somebody grabbed me by the collar one day and said, Mike, that ain't referrals. Let me tell you what a referral is. And it's only then that I learned. I wish somebody had given me the opportunity to ask that question straight out when I first got involved. So let me just recap what we actually covered in that first section. I'm not going to go too much into detail with this. I really think that this will be no longer than me talking for 20-25 minutes and then over to you guys. And if you've got questions for us, fantastic. If you haven't got questions for us, that's also fantastic as well. So in that first session, what we really started, we're talking about your goals, and goals are really important in business, but also in BNI. I think when we ask the question in any MSP session, we always say to people, how many people in this room joined BNI because they wanted to create more business? Pretty much every single hand will go up, people saying, yeah, I joined BNI to get more referrals, more business opportunities. We then ask a very simple second question, how many of you have a physical target of what you want to achieve for business that first year? If we're lucky, out of 20 people, we may get 2 hands go up, which I always find quite staggering. Staggering because, I mean, the old adage, if you don't know where you're going, any road will do. If you don't know where you're going in BNI, if you don't know what your goals and your targets are in BNI, then it's really hard to know what activity that you want to put into your membership. If you want to get £50 worth of return from your investment, then do you know what? You're not going to have to do absolutely nothing to get £50 back. But if you want to get £50,000 back from your BNI membership, then obviously your activity level is going to have to be much greater. But unless you know what that goal is to start with, how the devil do you know what you're going to have to put into it? So there is that exercise inside the member success manual. I fully respect that maybe you may not have had that by your bed every single night to read upon, but I would encourage you, look back through to the goals section. Go back through that exercise which asks you, what is your target? What would the average value of referral be worth to you? It will help you get an indication of the amount of referrals that you want. Hopefully, it will also help you focus on who are your target clients. Standing up and asking for anybody, everybody, and somebody we know equals nobody. I do appreciate that new members often find it quite difficult to focus in on their target clients because anybody could be good for you as a client. But please believe me, the more you can be clear about your target clients in BNI, the people that will bring you the good piece of business that you'd really value, then they're the people you should really be asking for. As I like to say, if you don't know who your dream clients are, then as a member of your sales team being part of your chapter, I've got absolutely no idea who your target clients are. We also covered at the outset in that session about the referral confidence curve. BNI is about trust. It's about people getting to know, like, and trust one another. And only at that point will people be confident enough to pass referrals to you. And likewise, you'll only be confident at that point to pass referrals to other people. So it is important that we do all the right things to make sure we're building trust. Quite simply, be there. Be there on time. Network with everybody in the room. Build those relationships. Get actively involved. Offer to help out, whether it be visitor hosting, setting up the sign-in table. Just offer to be a help to people. Come with a smile on your face. Make sure you prepare your 60-second presentation when you're there. Actively try to give as much as you possibly can to helping other members. Be active during the meeting, be listening attentively. If you can, stay around behind afterwards and network with other people. All these things are really simple business principles that I'm sure you'd adopt every day in managing your own business to a highly professional level. We just encourage you to approach your BNI membership the way you'd approach any potential client, any great client that you've actually got. Respect your members in the same way as you respect your clients, and you'll basically get a much greater return from that membership. We spoke about one-to-ones also in that session. One-to-ones are absolutely key. There is absolutely no doubt there's a direct correlation between the amount of one-to-ones that people do and the amount of business they get from their membership. But it's not just about the amount of one-to-ones people do. It's about the quality of those one-to-ones. Having a one-to-one with somebody, which is just a general chat, it can help build relationships, and I understand that, and that's important. But also there has to be some depth to it as well. Building relationships needs to go a little bit deeper. Remember, as we talked about the gains profile, and if it's not familiar with you, please do go back to your member success manual and have a look at it. The gains profile, what are people's goals, accomplishments, interests, network, skills, not just for business, but personal, people by people. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in one of my top tips. So think about building that confidence with your fellow members. People want to deal with positive people. And the more you can present yourself as a positive person, a positive business person, the more inclined people are going to do business with you. 60-second presentations was covered. I could talk for 2 hours just on 60-second presentations. The biggest reason members leave money on the table, in my opinion, is because of the quality of their presentations. They come into meetings and they wing their presentation. They describe their products or services. They don't really educate us about who they are, what they do, the types of clients they're looking for, why we can refer them with confidence. You only get 51-minute presentations in a year to deliver. Please remember, you can't afford to waste a single one of them. Give every 60-second presentation the same due consideration you'd give if you were given a presentation to your dream client. If you were only given 60 seconds to do a presentation to your dream client, how much time and effort would you put into that presentation? We talked about referrals. We didn't talk a lot about referrals, which is, for a referral organization, you may say is quite unusual, but there's so much coming at you to start with. We want to make sure we get the fundamentals in place. But we talked about the etiquette of referrals, how to receive, how to give referrals, show your appreciation, deal with referrals quickly when you receive those referrals, and then make sure you're actually attempting to give referrals as well. But make sure you know what a referral is. A referral is a genuine business opportunity for somebody else. It doesn't mean it's a done deal, but it does mean that somebody's expecting a fellow member's call. Please don't get into the position of being so keen to try to help people that you're actually creating leads and you're not creating referrals. A member will have a much greater respect for you when you pass them a genuine opportunity, even if it doesn't turn into business. But the fact that you went to the lengths to actually create that genuine opportunity is going to be absolutely key to them. And if you're struggling with any of the things that we're talking about, if you are struggling, you have a whole team of people to help you. You have your leadership team, you have a committee, you have a BNI director consultant, some of your chaps have an ambassador, and you also have all of us here at the office who are always prepared to help you. We spoke about visitors towards the end of the session at that member success training, and visitors is really just trying to remind you that you have a fantastic opportunity to introduce other people that you know in business to the fantastic contact that you've now just made introductions to. BNI isn't right for everybody, and we're not trying to convince everybody that BNI is right for them. But you know what? I truly believe that everybody should actually have a look at BNI. If nothing else, it's a great chance to meet other motivated people who really want to help other people from the local business community. And by bringing your contacts down, they may make a great contact that day, even if they decide that your group, BNI, isn't for them. The final thing we touched on was just about those policies. Not the most exciting part to finish on, I appreciate that, and it is generally around 7:20, 7:25. You've had 3.5 hours of drinking from the hosepipe, but that last section about policies is key. The success of BNI over the last 26 years now has been built upon having systems and structure in place. You didn't join a coffee club when you joined BNI, you joined a professional business referral organization. to ensure that we create the results that we do for our members, it's important that we have policies and rules that protect you as our new members. If any of those policies that you're unclear about, or you're unsure of the question why they are there, then please make sure you ask us. We don't expect you just to accept them because they're in front of you. What we do though is just ask you that you ask us the question why, because I can truly guarantee they have been put there by people just like you, members who realize the best way of getting results from BNI is to have a process and a system in place. So that's my overview. I hope you're still with, haven't lost any of you yet. What I'd like to do now is go on to what my 3 top tips are in terms of helping you get greater value from your membership much quicker, hopefully with less effort as well. So my first top tip, people buy people, they don't buy products and services. Now this goes back to a little bit with the referral confidence curve, but I cannot stress this enough. I've seen some super talented people in BNI in terms of what they do not get business because they don't sell themselves as an individual. They don't engage with the members. They don't build relationships with people. We have to get to know each other first before we're prepared to introduce one another. So how do we actually get that engagement? How do we get buy-in? Well, as we've mentioned, be there. It's so important that you turn up for your weekly meeting. One of the key things that makes your group so successful as it is that your members make a commitment to be there each week. We fully accept the fact there'll be times when you're not well. Maybe your children are not well. The car breaks down, something happens and you can't make it. That's why there is a system in place where you can actually miss meetings without there being any consequence whatsoever. But if you know you're going on a holiday, if you know you've got that important business meeting, then it is really quite easy to find somebody who's prepared to substitute for you. They would love the opportunity to promote their own business if they're not in conflict with another member. They'd love the opportunity to talk about your business, particularly if they're a raving fan of yours because they're a client already who's had great results from the services or products that you provide. Substitutes are great. It actually helps you make money, and you can be sat on a beach thousands of miles away because the members respect the fact that although you may be on your holidays, you take your position in BNI very seriously, and you take your membership seriously enough as well, and you consider it towards your fellow members, and you want to make sure that you're represented each week. So be there is key. Get there nice and early. BNI is primarily an early morning meeting. Get over it. Do you know, we said this at the training, get over it. Do you know, you can easily turn up at 7 a.m. if you wish to, and you can come running through the door and you can network for 15 minutes, sit down, and do you know what? You've done what's been asked of you. But why get there at 7 o'clock when you can get there at 6:30? It is networking. It's not net eat, it's not net sit, it's network. Your alarm clock going off or whatever time it needs to go off is going to hurt anyway. Dark mornings, chilly mornings. But you know what? You might as well set it for another 15 minutes earlier than that. It's still going to hurt. But you know, you're going to get there. You're going to have a great start to your day. You're really going to build relationships with people, and people are going to get to buy into you as well. They'll see the fact that you get there nice and early. That's the way you treat all your client meetings. And straight away, they're going to be more inclined to get to know you, like you, and obviously refer you onwards. Simple things about people buying people. Smile. It's people don't like dealing with negative people. So come into the meeting with a positive attitude. Do you know what? We can all have tough weeks at times. And do you know, going to a BNI meeting, it could be the last thing you could really do with that week because you've got so many other things on your plate. But when you are there, you've made a commitment and you are working when you're there. So remember, when you step across the threshold of that premises, put the smile on your face, be positive, go into that with the right attitude. People will buy into that. Simple things, create eye contact when networking. Stay engaged with the people you're talking to. Don't be looking over the shoulder, looking for the next person. Don't look disinterested or checking your phone and things like this. Make sure you stay engaged with the people. Ask questions of people during the open networking. Take a genuine interest in who they are, what they do, the clients they deal with, the geographic area they're involved in. The more interested you are in other people, the more interesting they will find you. Engage with lots of people. Make it your own personal goal to at least shake hands with every member in the morning and say good morning to them. No, you can't engage in a conversation with 20 or 30 people in the morning, even maybe 40 people in the morning. But you can wave, say good morning, shake hands with a good number of those people. So by the time you sit down at your chapter meeting, you've already made a positive impression on a lot of people that morning. You've already set the tone for it. So that's my first tip. My second tip, set those goals from everything that you want from your membership. We're not just talking about the money you want from BNI, because some members do turn around and say, look, it's not about the money. It's about the connections. It's about the strategic partnerships. It's about the money I can save. But when you actually look at your membership, do think about, can I actually put a financial return on this? At some point, 10 months down the line from when you started your membership, somebody's going to ask you from your chapter, would you like to renew your membership? And although you may have made some great connections, you may have saved a ton of money, you may have some great contacts, pretty much you're going to look at the bottom line. You're going to turn around and say, was this a good use of my time? Did I make a good return from that investment I put into this? And if you haven't got that goal in place, then do you know what? You may be struggling to justify it, but you've got to record it as well. On BNI Connect, you may not be aware of this yet, you can record everything that you actually earn from BNI. Now, let me tell you, nobody else can see this figure apart from yourself. We can't even see what you make from BNI, only you can. All we can see in BNI is how much business people give. We can't see how much people receive. So please do take a record of what you're earning from BNI, because do you know what happens? What happens is people get to their end, towards the end of their membership, and you say, the committee will turn around to them and say, would you like to renew your membership? And they'll immediately think, how's BNI working for me now? They forget to look back 6 or 7 months and forget about that £10,000 deal they got 7 months ago. They tend to look at the last 2 months, think, well, it hasn't worked really that great for me the last 2 months, so maybe I won't. And they've forgotten already about that great deal they won. They also forget about the actual referrals that lead to other referrals. We call them second tier, third tier, even fourth tier referrals. Once had a member who said he had an 8th tier referral, a referral that led to a referral that led to a referral that led to referrals. So it's important you actually track everything that you get from your membership in terms of the connections or in terms of the money. Great way of doing this, just split it into quarters. Now, when you're setting your annual goal for BNI membership, let's just say for a start, the first year you say, I want to get a £10,000 return from my membership. Very easy to say, okay, I want to get £2,500 per quarter. That's probably not quite realistic though, because remember that referral confidence curve. In those first 3 months, you probably are not going to get any business. I say you're probably not going to get any business. You may do, but you know, you'll be one of the lucky ones if you do. But then in the later months of your first year membership, that's when we'd really truly start to expect you to see you starting getting some genuine quality referrals. People will test you out in the early days, so you'll get those lower level referrals, lower value referrals. But then as your membership matures and as people get to know, like, and trust you, so the quality of the referrals will go up. In your second year, what we do know is that people generally get double the amount of business they got in the first year, because you've got to go through that process of people getting to know you. Remember what we did say, this is not a get rich quick scheme. If anything else, it's the opposite. It's a get rich slow scheme. Focus on who you want to speak to. Setting those goals, setting a figure for that goal, £10,000. Let's keep using that example. We may set a goal for the first 3 months, and we want £1,000 in the first 3 months from our membership, and we may stagger that in terms of building up £10,000 at the end of it. But again, think about who you want to speak to. What would a dream client look like to you? What would a cream client look like to you? What would a bread and butter client look like to you? And what we mean by that, a bread and butter client, that's a client that would kind of be a easy referral into you. It may not create you a huge amount of business, but it could be a new client, quick introduction, some new business opportunities there. The cream client would be the client that, you know, was a good referral to have, something you'd be quite proud of. But again, you're not going to be retiring around it. And then the dream client is the one that actually is a business changer. It can really change your whole business opportunity for months to come, maybe even years to come. If you're not sure on what a dream, cream, and bread and butter client looks like, your members haven't got a clue. You have to educate us on those. Once you've got those actual goals in place, then we come on to our tip number 3, which is creating a monthly activity plan. Now, goals are great. I think if you speak to most business coaches out there, most of them will talk about what are the goals for your business, what are your goals for your personal life, and I absolutely endorse that. But I think what you find is that most business coaches will also ask you to do is think about what are your activities that you're going to put in place to achieve the goal. A goal on its own is actually useless unless you actually focus on the activity that's going to actually help you achieve the goals. So what are those things in BNI? Well, we know there's a number of things that our members need to do to make BNI work for them. It isn't just about coming along, turning up, sitting through an hour-and-a-half meeting, and then going again and expecting to work. Do you remember my very first analogy I used at the training? Being a member of BNI is like being a member of a gym. You don't get fit because you join a gym. You get fit because what you do when you're there. So what are the things that you need to do? What's the activities that you need to put in place to ensure that you've got the most greatest chance of achieving those goals that you put there? Well, the first thing is those one-to-ones. Scheduling those one-to-ones in your diary on a regular basis and making sure that you do get them scheduled on a regular basis. I mean, I'm talking like one a week at least to start with as a new member. Now, if you're thinking, I haven't got time to do these one-to-ones, believe me, you haven't got time not to do them. They are so critical. And any seasoned members that are also on this webinar, please let this be a message to you as well, because often it's the seasoned members that tend to dry up on their one-to-ones. They'll say things like, well, everybody knows me now. There's no point in actually doing the one-to-ones. Couldn't be further from the truth. People need to keep reminded about who you are, what you do, how you add value, what kind of clients you're looking for, what I need to say, what I need to listen for, what do I need to look for to find you the referrals that you want. So get those one-to-ones booked in with your fellow members. I want to bring in a gentleman's name here, Ben Govia. I don't think Ben's on this webinar, but he shared this with me just before one of our last training sessions. And Ben's in a recruitment consultancy business. And Ben sort of, when he came involved in BNI, is a brand new startup in recruitment. And we've had a number of recruitment companies in BNI over the years. And some have been very successful and some it hasn't worked for. But as I always say, BNI works for every business, just doesn't work for every person. Well, Ben took the advice. Literally, he grabbed hold of the advice and he ran with it. He asked to have one-to-ones with every member of his chapter. He asked to have one-to-ones with people in other chapters. He went to visit other chapters. Ben told me the other evening that in the first 8 months of BNI, he's got £60,000 worth of business from it. 95% of his first year income is coming from his BNI membership. Is Ben lucky? No way. Ben actually is getting the results because he put the time and effort into it. But his one-to-ones wasn't just again about having a chat with somebody. He was very structured. He asked questions. He looked to learn. He made notes what people were saying. And he went out with a complete attitude of giver's gain. He went into helping other people. So almost he compelled them to actually help him back. And that's why he's got his success. What other activity can you do on a monthly basis to help you increase your success? Well, how about getting to other networking events? That may sound strange coming from somebody who's running a networking organization, but other networking events is a great place to find referrals for your fellow members. As a brand new member, it can sometimes be a bit daunting about where do I find business, where do I find referrals? When you meet other people at other events, it's one of the best places to actually find referrals, to find opportunities for other people. So try to get out there, try to see what other events that are around. Make sure you've got your card wallet with you with all your fellow members' business cards in there. And when you see the opportunity, make sure you introduce yourself to these people and introduce your fellow members. And remember, ask permission. Can I get this person to give you a call? Put some time into your diary for your BNI time. What I mean by that is I can't even remember if we mentioned this at the member success training or not, but we call it the BNI hour. We know your meetings generally run from 6:45 in the morning or even a bit earlier to 8:30. But pretty much during the course of the week, we'd highly recommend you have a BNI hour in your diary. Now that BNI hour doesn't have to be during your working day. It could even be sort of in the evening time. It could be at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, sat in front of the TV, having your dinner, but have time to actually think about how can I help somebody this week? Which members can I find referrals for? Which visitors can I invite? Because a lot of the success members have in terms of finding referrals, finding visitors is in the preparation. It's not in the actual doing. It's actually thinking, I need to phone that person tomorrow and ask them, would they take a call from one of my fellow members? So put that time into the diary. Prep. Prep for yourself in terms of your own 60 seconds. Prep for yourself in terms of the actual referrals that you're looking for. All the preparation you put into it, all put that into your BNI hour. Make sure you've got that everything organized. And the final tip really in terms of your activity plan is how much training you can invest into. We provide training for you to help you get the very best out of your membership. I fully respect the fact that you are all going to be experts at what you do. I wouldn't have clue where to start in terms of your businesses. What we only know about is referral marketing. We only know about networking. What we know is about how we can get you the very best out of this. And the training that we provide will really help you understand how to get the best out of your membership. We'll teach you how to find referrals. We'll teach you how to give referrals for other people and receive them. We'll teach you how to present more effectively to get your message across, how to do effective one-to-ones. Please revisit the member success training that you've just done only 2 months ago, because the next time you come on it, it will be material that you've heard once, but you know what, second time around, different information will sink in, and that will actually help establish yourself and actually help you establish the fundamentals in BNI that make BNI work today, that made BNI work back in 1985. So all these things should be part of your monthly activity plan. You put these things in place, you have your goals there, you make sure that you're coming across as a positive, energized person. And you know what, that referral confidence, that timeline that we showed you at the workshop, and people's belief and confidence in you increasing, we can shorten that timeline. And the shorter we can make that timeline, the quicker the return on your investment is going to be. So ladies and gents, I think that's about 27 minutes of me, which I think is more than enough. And I'm not sure if we solved so we haven't actually solved our sending the questions as it says there, please send your comments or whatever. But if you have got an email that you want to send me right now and ask a question, we'll be more than happy to deal with that now. So I'm going to turn to Janie to see if she's had anything come through. We'll give it 60 seconds or so. I'll sit here in silence and keep looking around and seeing if I can think of anything else to share with you at this moment in time. What I would really appreciate, though, is any feedback from this. This is the very first one of these I've ever done. Never spoken to a camera before in my life. So if you've got some feedback from us, I'd really appreciate it. Personally, I'd really appreciate it. If there's topics that you'd like us to talk about, if there's different ways you'd like us to go about this, then actually all that feedback will be really helpful for us. We really respect your time, and we understand that basically coming out to workshops in the evening can be sometimes difficult. So if there's ways that we can actually help educate, communicate with you guys, that is going to be easier on your time, then we'd really like to know how we can do that. So, okay, just gonna give it another sort of 20 seconds or so, guys. And if there's nothing to ask, if you don't want to ask anything and then it go live, then please feel free to drop me an email afterwards, and I'll be more than happy to come back to you, or one of my team will come back to you and directly answer a question for you, just in case you don't want it to go public on camera. Okay, well, it appears that there aren't any questions coming through. So that means I may have been talking to a camera of my own for the last half an hour. Hopefully not. And guys, I say thank you for being here. Have a great weekend, and we look forward to supporting you in your BNI membership. Thanks very much. How do I cut?